You're listening to What's Hot on NCCU AudioNet.
Great. It's What's Hot with Shamai Cook. I'm Shamai Cook, and I have a special guest today on the show from G105, one of my favorite radio personalities here in North Carolina. It's Erica Delong here from G105 of the Erica Show and so much more. Miss Delong, thank you so much for coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it. This is such an honor.
It's an honor for me. You can call me Erica, by the way.
Okay.
You're aging me saying Miss Delong.
But how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm glad that you reached out. I see you on social. Obviously, we follow each other on social. And I think you know some of my radio sisters like Angela Yee and things like that. So I see your name pop up on social often.
I try to do my best, try to keep up with the times, trying to do my job correctly. But that start off this, first of all, your schedule is so busy, and I'm so glad that you worked me into your schedule, and it's, I'm going to take your time so much useful. So let's get into what made you want to get into the radio business.
Honestly, I wanted to be Oprah ever since I was in 5th grade. I would sign my yearbook for my friends saying, like, I'm going to be the next Oprah.
Okay.
And when I made it to college, I had been accepted to the School of Arts in New York, but I had a boyfriend at the time, so I chose to stay local and got a scholarship to which is now William Peace. Mm-hmm. And William Peace, Fortune Feemster, who is now very famous, and she's all over Netflix. She's a comedian. She was interning at G105, and she said, well, you might not be Oprah, but you can at least intern at the radio station. And that's kind of like how things started.
Okay.
And they were busy. They had, at the time, they would have like 10 interns at a time, whereas now that's kind of a thing of the past. We don't have as many interns.
Gotcha.
But I begged to get in the door. I kept calling and calling because they wouldn't respond until finally I just showed up and I was like, I want to intern, which then turned into a job because I was the intern that was here all the time.
Gotcha.
Trying to learn as much as I could. And so when the assistant producer was, going out clubbing or whatever he was doing, he was like, here, do the job. I was like, okay. And so that led to me becoming the next assistant producer while I was in college.
Okay.
And at NC State, it allowed me to have a full-time job, which was hard, but it was mornings. So I would get up at 3 a.m., do the morning show, go to college, go to my side hustle job to make money to pay for whatever we had to pay for, and then kind of do it all over the next day. So I didn't party as much. I worked like in college. You're doing it you're doing your thing. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, I feel the pain, but you work hard for what you really want, and you really did that. I see in your career. So you did some time in your radio career in New York.
Right.
Talk about your experience in the number one radio market. Talk about your experience there in New York.
I would say I've been very blessed because, New York is something people they aspire to be in the end of their career, whereas I jumped right into it. So I was assistant producer for G105's morning show, which was a big show. And we would go to radio boot camp, which is, all of these radio hosts from all over come together. And at the time I was, I think, a senior in college. And I met the right people, and they said, well, you're fun, let's offer you a job. So I had 2 job offers, one in New York City and one in Boston area. And I was like, no, I love where I'm at. I love North Carolina. I'm never leaving. And the day after I graduated college, they did budget cuts, and they were like, we don't want to do this, but we have to cut your position. They eliminated the assistant producer role. And I was like, what? So I walked out of the building the day after graduation, called New York and said, I'm coming. So in a week after graduation, I was already moving to New York City. Which is how that started. And it was amazing. I worked for Premier Radio Networks, which is owned by iHeart.
Okay.
And it does all of the syndication. So like the Ryan Seacrest, the Breakfast Club, all of those guys. I kind of was a behind the scenes producer at Premier. And then I got my foot in the door when Howard Stern went to satellite radio. The position at CBS was open, so I became the girl on that show.
Okay.
And they're competitors, but the bosses were like, she's not gonna harm anything. So I was allowed to do both full-time jobs, which was a lot.
Okay.
But when you're 20 years old or whatever, you just make it work. And so I was doing that for 7 years, and then had an opportunity to come up in Detroit. So after New York, I was in Detroit and New York, and I would fly back and forth between the two. I would have dinner in Detroit and do mornings here, and it was crazy. But again, when when you have a passion for something, you make it work and you figure it out.
You make time for what's important to you, absolutely.
But I was working like 22 hours a day, and so
wow.
It was a lot. It was a whole lot. So fast forward to 10 years of being away from North Carolina, I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to have more balance in life, like a family, because all I did was work, and then that's what led me back to North Carolina for the opening show here. But
Showgram, right?
It was amazing.
The show was called Showgram, right? That morning show.
Bob and the Showgram, yeah. And he had been here. He was like a host that had been around for a long time, that people from all over the nation knew who he was. So I was able to learn very young, how to have thick skin, how to work hard.
Gotcha.
It's not handed to you. You have to work for it.
I understand. I definitely understand. So, I met Ryan Seacrest for my 16th birthday. So he's such a nice guy.
Awesome.
Yeah, I met him. So hopefully he sees this. He's your colleague. Hopefully he's a future
colleague. I'm going to send it to him.
Please.
Okay.
That would be great. So, a lot of people are saying that radio is going out of date. I feel like that statement is really blasphemous in my opinion, because when you look at when record labels want to push out songs, you hear at the top of the hour it's the same 3 songs. They program you, as it's called programming for a reason, to program you to listen to these songs. What do you say to those people that say that don't think that radio is important anymore?
I hear that a lot, and I too would agree that it has changed dramatically. Back in the day, it was just like radio. Whereas now with all the different platforms, we've evolved, and either you get on board with that or you kind of fall behind. So yes, radio is my main thing, but I'm on social and podcasts and TV. Like, you kind of spread your wings among all the outlets, because now iHeart, for instance, is the biggest, media company. They are the forefront of podcasting, which is huge now. And so they got in front of that. Whereas now we put out more podcasts than any other media company, or, you just use multiple platforms to evolve instead of say, well, it's dying, because I have a lot of partners in radio, like as far as endorsements and stuff, and the way that they sell it is, if you're on the radio, then people are going to see it on social. We kind of are sold on every platform, so no matter where you turn, you will see, that product or my name or whatever it may be.
Yeah. What is one person that you look up or had look up to? You said Oprah, but like when it comes to radio, Oprah was on television. When it came to radio, what was one person that you looked up to?
Well, now still Kendra G. I love Kendra G. I don't know if you know, and Angela Yee as well, but Kendra G is my girl. She works so hard. She was in Chicago and she recently moved to LA, and now she's doing TV, but she just worked her tail off, and she started from the ground up, and she doesn't let anything stop her. And so I always, when I see her going through on social, I cheer her on, because I, want to get to the same level at some point.
Understood.
And Angela Yee too. She's doing great. I'm so proud of her. Yeah,
I love her show Way Up with Angela Yee. She has worked very hard in her career. The radio industry and media industry is very male dominated. How do you deal with that in your everyday life? You might have a lot of male colleagues. I know you work with Trevor every day.
Right.
But how do you deal with that through you have a big resume when it comes to, being in this industry? How did you deal with that?
So I think because I was so lucky early on, I worked with Bob, who taught me how to have thick skin and stand up for myself. Because I remember when they told me, because I had brought New York and worked remotely for New York when I came back here, but I was working so many hours, they said, you have to quit New York. And I was like, well, y'all didn't pay me what you would pay a male host. And so Bob taught me some tricks of the trade, like, to stand up for myself. And so finally I kind of got what I would think I would say I would be worth. And so some people may consider that as a pushy female, because I don't think sometimes bosses are used to somebody speaking up if you're a female.
Gotcha. Okay.
But, that's just how we roll around here. I like to speak up, you know. I'm not scared to speak up for myself. The worst that can happen is they say we don't need you anymore, and I'm like, okay, well, thank you for this chapter. But I'm respectful, obviously, but I'm never scared to speak up for myself. And I know some females in this industry, because I'm on a female forum where there's women from all over the nation, all over the world, where they are shafted financially, or, you know, maybe they don't get to lead their show because they're a female voice. And so there are a few, like Dee in the Morning. She's in Texas.
Yeah.
One of the syndicated female-led shows. And so she's always been a great voice for females to keep pushing and don't back down. Just keep pushing.
Yeah. Angela Yee also.
Angela. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You have interviewed a lot of celebrities in your media career. I've seen heard you say you interviewed Snoop Dogg before. You interviewed a lot of celebrities. What is your most memorable celebrity interview?
Well, first of all, Snoop Dogg, he got me high at the WWE match.
Yeah,
and I didn't
Contact High.
Yes, I don't do drugs, but I was sitting beside him at WrestleMania, and I don't know why I was even there, but I was there to do interviews, and he was beside me. I was like, Snoop, I'm high just from sitting beside you. He is phenomenal and so cool and so down to earth, and he spoke to everybody. I would say, even though G105 and iHeart's not typically political, I've had a chance to interview like Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, and things like that. And so it was cool to speak to people that have led our world, you know, about things that are not political, because I try to stay out of that when it comes to this job and stay neutral. But it was cool to talk to him about his daughters, and did they get to have dates in the White House and things like that. And it was cool. The interview actually went international, which was awesome, because
that's great.
He didn't get to open up about that as much because people always wanted to talk politics. So it was cool to have a different side of him. So that one I was really proud of. And, you know, there's been a lot of good ones. Mariah Carey, biggest diva, though.
So she is like that in person.
She is, but she's proud of it, and that is okay. Like, she was tired one day. This is when I was still in New York, and she wanted me to hold frozen peas over her eyes. I did it.
Oh my gosh.
I was 22 years old, so.
You really put
I just held those peas up
over Mariah Carey's eye. That's how.
She gave me a poster.
She signed it.
Yes.
I'm not surprised though, because when she went to the Breakfast Club, she made them turn on all the lights and put it on her. So so it's Mariah Carey. She's an icon, so I get it. Talk about your experience at working at iHeart. Like you said, it's the #1, radio audio platform in the world. Right. Talk about your experience working at iHeart.
I mean, I love it. I feel very lucky because we have so many things that I know there's other companies out there that are more mom and pop, and they treat their employees so great, and they're friends of mine, but I like that we have so much reach. Like I can go to the iHeartRadio Jingle Ball, or I can go to Vegas, no matter where I go. Like when I did the Oscars, I was able to go to a studio in LA and do the show from LA, but still be on the red carpet at the Oscars a couple hours before. So that kind of stuff, just the reach that we have, and we have some really great leaders that are very smart. And I mean, it's been a really good job. It's been a lot of fun at all the cool things that we've done, the community service, and it's been a good experience.
With the type of resume you have in the radio and media business, what type of advice would you give someone trying to get into this business?
Don't go into it to try to be famous. Go into it as a public servant to your community. Okay. So I think some people will start out, I've noticed, because I started when I was 19, so I'm like a dinosaur around here, and I'm aging backwards, by the way. But I mean, some people start out and they immediately want to be first mic, and they want to, they don't think they need to do the behind the scenes. But to really be successful, you got to be a servant to your community. And that's my favorite part, is our listeners and doing stuff in the community. Like, that is what is the most fulfilling about this job. It's not because you're on the radio, because that can go and come and nobody cares. They may, but I mean, you're no different than your teachers or firefighters or those that are, doing trash collection. We're all the same. It's just that we happen to speak to more people. But if you are your authentic self, and you just know that you're there to serve your community, I think you would be successful, or anybody would be successful.
That's really good advice. All right. So let's have a little fun here. Okay, I have some hot topic questions. I want to get your take on them. All right.
Okay.
It's been happening around the news, and I think you talked about it on your Erica's Entertainment every show weekdays on B105. All right, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift as a couple. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think it's fake because he's not her type and she's not his type, which who am I to say? But I'm like, they both have so much fame. What was the purpose behind this?
Okay.
I'm not believing that it's an authentic relationship just because he had dated that other girl, was it Kayla?
Yeah.
For years, who was beautiful. And, she had to delete folks so she can move forward. But I just feel like Taylor is very goody two shoes, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think Travis Kelce, I don't know. But I've been wrong many times before. So who knows? Okay. I know that the Swifties are very excited that she, found somebody.
Yeah. You think she might write a song about him if they break up?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Beyonce World Tour, the Renaissance World Tour. What's your take on that?
She's amazing. Beyonce, I love how first of all, she was already broken records as the most money for a female artist. And so I always praise Beyonce. I think she's a great talent. She's a great performer. She was my first concert. It was Destiny's Child.
Oh, wow.
And so I always have heart for her because her work ethic is amazing. And also knowing Jay-Z just a little bit, not like that close, but I've met him when I worked in New York. He would always come in and just seeing the behind the scenes of them. They're the real deal. They have a hard work ethic and, I just always cheer her on. And she's a great performer. You cannot top Beyonce. She's just great.
She is.
Yeah.
Now, Jada Pinkett Smith's new book, Worthy. Have you read it? Have you got the book? Because I got the book. It's pretty good.
No, I haven't. Hang on. Come in. I always have people pop in. I have not read it. I'm on an interview. Would you like to say hey? Hi. Come here.
Hello.
Hang on. This is Nick. So we have 5 stations in the building. Say hey.
Okay. Hi, Nick. How you doing?
So we always have different talent pop in, and we all collaborate together. Okay. But Jada Pinkett Smith, I have not read the book, but I commend her and Will. Like, if that's how they do their life, that's their business. You've always heard rumors about Will in the past or Jada in the past, like, oh, Will is gay or Jada's gay, and who cares? That's their business.
It's not our business, but
that's their business. Put it out
there.
It was interesting though, the whole slap thing at the Oscars. She said, "Oh, I didn't know that was going to happen either." I'm like,
allegedly.
I don't know the real story. I know that Will, the times that I've had encounters with him or people that I know, they say he's a stand-up guy. Same with Jada, stand-up people. So as far as I know, do you?
Yeah. All right, last one. Usher doing the halftime performance.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I hope he brings some good collabs with him. Not that he can't do it by himself, but I think that he's just a staple no matter what your age is. If you're young or old, everybody loves Usher. And so it would be cool to see some great performers. Who's been your favorite halftime performer?
Okay, so me watching it live, I think Super Bowl 50 was Coldplay, Beyonce, Bruno Mars. That's the best halftime show I have ever seen in my lifetime.
Well, Beyonce shut it down.
Yeah, absolutely. With them together, and she had the tribute to Michael Jackson with that costume, and then the Formation just dropped, and then the World Tour dropped. It was like, it's everything. Is it
horrible that I don't even remember the other performers? I just remember Beyonce. Like when you said Coldplay, I'm like, were they there? I didn't even remember. And I like Coldplay, but I
do. They're a hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the best halftime show I have ever watched in my lifetime.
Right.
And you I don't need to age you, but you graduated college when I was born, 2004.
Oh Lord, you done told business. Oh Lord, did I put that on the paper somewhere? Because I've been lying about it so long. If anybody asks, it's 2008. Where's that paper? I gotta update it.
It says from you graduated from Peace College class in 2004.
Oh Lord, I gotta update that. That's accurate, but I need to change it.
Oh.
And make it like 2010 or something.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Miss Erica, for coming on the show. Make sure you guys tune into the Erica Show weekdays from 3 to 7 on G105 on iHeartRadio. And she's right after the legendary Radio Hall of Famer, Ryan Seacrest, on air with Ryan Seacrest. And if Trevor wants to call out, you can always give me a call. I live in Durham. G105 is in Raleigh. I go right up the street. Yeah. If Trevor needs a day off, I'll be happy to guest co-host.
And if anybody ever has questions, just hit me up at Erica Delong. I respond quick on social. But what do you want to do? I know that this is your thing, but what is your goal? Because I'm really in awe of seeing all the stuff you do on social.
I think radio is my passion. I love radio. I love how you could just talk to the audience immediately. And I just love playing music. I love music. And it's just, radio is a vibe. I really love it, listening to you and different stations and Ryan Seacrest and, Wendy Williams. It's just the Breakfast Club. It's just it's an art that I really enjoy. And you could be it's just you and the microphone. Actually being in the studio, it's just you and the microphone. You don't have to worry about the audience. Now, I could be in front of a live audience, but when you're in that studio and it's you, that board, and that computer and the microphone, magic is happening. And that's what I love about radio.
Well, that's awesome. Well, sending you good vibes. Of course, we'll stay in touch too, but.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, if Trevor needs a day off, give me a call.
You can take it if I'm out. You just go for me. Go hang out with me while I'm out.
Hey, thank you so much, Miss Erica, for coming on the show.
You.
I appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye.
You're listening to What's Hot on NCCU AudioNet.